Welcome to The Explainer. Right beneath the streets of our modern cities, hidden completely away from the sunlight, lies this massive arterial network of water pipelines. They're literally pumping life through our homes, schools, hospitals, and factories. But we have to ask, what happens when that lifeblood turns poisonous? Today, we're exploring a seriously breathtaking, futuristic technology conceptualized by Shermodz. It's a system that forces us to finally confront the silent, ecological death happening right beneath our feet.
Pollution is invisible until it becomes irreversible. Man, that captures such an eerie, unseen reality, doesn't it? I mean, we turn on our taps and everything looks totally fine. But deep within those underground systems, invisible microscopic toxins, industrial waste, and heavy metals are moving through our infrastructure in real time. Because we just can't see those trace amounts of lead or volatile organic compounds with our naked eye, we go about our days completely unaware. The pollution stays utterly silent, moving seamlessly right up until the exact moment the ecosystem completely collapses.
So the catalyst for this entire technology actually started with a really simple observation. The inventor was sitting on a battered KSRTC bus, just watching a river slide past the window. The river was moving, reflecting sunlight. There was even a fisherman standing right in it. But biologically, it was completely dead. And a child sitting nearby asked his mother this incredibly profound question. How do rivers die if they are still moving? That single question sparked a huge realization. Movement is not life. And our inability to recognize that death is a profound biological flaw.
The silent ecological death. To really understand this flaw, we actually have to look at our own biology. You see, humanity has built massive psychological defense systems against slow destruction.
Which brings us to the three masks of pollution. Because this silent ecological death isn't just some environmental problem sitting neatly inside a box. It's a massive systemic failure.
The interconnectedness of this crisis is just staggering. First, we have the economic mask. Industrial profit gets privatized, while the biological damage gets socialized. Think about the total loss of income for local fishing communities when dissolved oxygen crashes. Second, the environmental mask. Rivers are essentially information systems transporting nutrients, right? Well, pollution destroys that informational balance, literally turning microplastics into chemical taxis for pollutants. And third, the social mask. Rivers used to be these beautiful communal memory spaces. Now, they're just invisible background infrastructure, isolated drainage corridors. It's a really profound detachment.
The Auralith system revealed. So how do we fix a problem that we literally can't see and that our brains are hardwired to ignore?
Well, we have to translate it into a language human biology simply cannot tune out. This is Auralith. And look, this isn't just another standard water filter or some dry data dashboard. Think of it as a revolutionary distributed nervous system for our rivers. It actually takes the invisible chemistry of toxic water and translates it into raw human emotion. It literally gives the river a voice.
The core science making this whole thing possible is psychoacoustic AI. The creator dove deep into predictive processing theory, which basically suggests our brains are constantly generating models of reality. Emotion actually emerges from prediction mismatches. So by merging predictive neuroscience with ecological sensing, Auralith creates this low-power edge AI that converts chemical data into sound. It forces an emotional reaction that human biology just cannot ignore.
Okay, let's talk hardware for a second, because hidden within these modular floating nodes is some truly cutting-edge tech. They pack electrochemical sensors for pH and oxygen, plus VOC detection to catch industrial discharge way before any visible damage occurs. They even use these advanced microfluidic biosensors that can detect heavy metals, like lead and mercury, at trace concentrations using fluorescence-quenching reactions. And the crazy part? All of this data is processed locally by an edge AI processor, synchronized across a watershed-wide mesh network and powered indefinitely by solar and micro-hydro energy. Zero cloud or grid dependency. It is a brilliantly self-contained intelligence system.
Translating chemistry into sound. This brings us to what is easily the most fascinating mechanism of the entire system.
How exactly does it turn a chemical pattern into an audible frequency? Well, through the Auralith translation architecture, a healthy ecosystem literally sounds alive. When the water is clean, the AI generates beautiful harmonic intervals and stable rhythms, the actual sound of a living system in coherence. But when the water becomes stressed, mathematically controlled dissonance is introduced. As it reaches toxic, you start hearing harmonic compression and these eerie vocal stress models. And in total collapse, the rhythm completely breaks down into chaotic interference. It literally sounds like physiological distress.
Now, it is absolutely vital to understand that the river isn't just making random spooky noises. This is ecologically constrained emotional computation. The AI is mathematically translating chemical instability into auditory instability, based strictly on the laws of information theory and dynamical system science. Healthy ecosystems produce coherent biological rhythms. Damaged ones become structurally chaotic. Auralith is simply making that unseen reality audible.
The era of empathy. Just imagine walking through a modern city. Maybe you've got headphones on or you're passing public speakers near a drainage corridor and you actually hear the wail of a poisoned water supply.
Making these ecological metrics emotionally audible actively rewires everything. Intervention cycles become way faster because the public pressure is immediate. The emotional distance to nature shrinks drastically. You aren't just reading some dry PDF report buried on a government website anymore. You are feeling the river's health in your chest. Polluting industries lose their absolute greatest advantage, invisibility. As a result, we'd see the emergence of real community data stewards. We'd shift tourism toward actually healthy waterways. And we'd force municipal accountability like never before. What if rivers could speak? I really want you to imagine the powerful, emotional contrast between the silent pollution we just accept today and the audible environmental warning signals of tomorrow. Picture riverside schools where students and everyday citizens are actively maintaining these open-source nodes. Imagine scientists, artists, and fishermen all collaborating, reacting emotionally in real time as they hear toxic water translated into undeniable sound.
Ultimately, this is the grand achievement here. It doesn't just measure pollution. It restores the feedback loops between humanity and nature that we accidentally severed during industrialization. By completely bypassing our numbness to abstract data and charts, it directly reconnects our ancient nervous systems to the very ecosystems we rely on to survive. The future of environmental awareness is emotional. The creator noted that, in the end, this project didn't leave him with standard optimism, but with a kind of quiet, technical hope. Because for the first time, there's a plausible bridge between hard scientific data and human empathy. The planet has always been speaking to us. We just forgot how to listen.
In a world where imagination becomes future technology, we really have to look at the intricate, hidden water networks beneath our cities and ask ourselves, if the water flowing through your own home suddenly started screaming, how quickly would you finally take action? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the invisible world around you.